When feeding the fish, the question is, what do we feed and how much do we feed? Now, for these guys here, they need some non-digestible foods. So getting some Danichi in there for them is very good, because this has got products like clay in it. And this clay actually keeps the immune system moving, because some of this food is non-digestible. We don't want the heavily processed foods that are easily digestible, or the end of the digestive system is working on nothing, which can cause issues like bloating. So that's a very good food to get in there for these fish. And then your wafers are very good. So this is a very good wafer, but there's also Spectrum's wafer, which is my favorite. And the reason why I like Spectrum's wafer is that it's got it's actually water stable. So it takes 24 hours before it starts to break down. Now, when you're feeding these fish, the first thing to consider is the bellies of the fish. And just remember that some of these fish are nocturnal. So these cats are going to be much more active and feed better with the light off. So we don't expect these guys to necessarily just run over and eat, particularly because I've just changed the water. But what we need to do now is watch their bellies. So these guys look very good. I probably want them a little bit more weight on them. So this would be the main food that I would be trying to get in there. And then when we get a good view of the belly of the fish, which right now I'm happy with these guys, but they're a tad on the light side. I'd just like to see them with a little bit more of a belly, whereas some of these yellows are definitely a bit thin. If you go from the gill plate to the anus and it's going up at all, then whatever you're doing, I want you to feed more. If they're going from the gill plate to the anus and it's going down too much, then whatever you're doing, I need you to do less. And then if there's just a little bit of a belly, then I'm really happy. And you need to change your feeding slightly and then give it about a month before you actually notice a difference. So some of the main foods that I would be feeding these guys, there's a very good range of food here. So I'd sort of cycle through some of these foods, and then I would just pay attention to how much I'm feeding. And then you slowly alter what you're feeding according to the bellies of the fish. Now, if the big fish are getting thin, you need to be feeding more of the bigger pellets. If the smaller fish are getting thin, then you need to feed more of the smaller pellets. So if we got something like that, put some of them in. Now, with these super high quality foods, they're actually set at absorption rate of the fish. So therefore, we really don't need to feed much of it at all. Just watch their bellies and trust their bellies and make changes very slowly. But these guys here are definitely showing some negative signs in reference to a little bit of swimming on the spot. And that's basically going to happen until you stabilize the pH and KH up. I'm actually really happy that these guys are alive, just due to how low the pH and KH is. They would normally be dead. For an aquarium like this, because this has had a little bit of a go as far as maybe not getting the servicing it required, and the pH is acid and the KH is 0, I do not recommend getting new fish anytime soon. Now, these fish are doing a little bit of swimming on the spot too, which is a very bad sign. Usually means that the immune system is suffering from low pH. So I would like to see the water stabilize for 1 month. Then after that, I'd like some GOs or some good fish in here. They're going to dig in the water. But what you never want to do is when your water's not right, add new fish. Because what happens is the fish that are in there sort of get used to the environment the way it is. And they'll sort of seem okay because they've got used to it as it slowly deteriorated. And then if you go adding new fish when your water's not right, it's the new fish that tend to get sick.